And I have Mark Labhart here this morning. Early in the month. Usually you're in towards the end of the month.
I am, yeah.
Yes, but you're going on vacation.
Well, it's our in-laws' 70th wedding anniversary.
Wow, that's amazing.
Yeah, I know. If you can make it to 70.
That is amazing.
So he's 92 and she's like 88 or something like that. So
that's impressive.
Can't miss that.
No, not at all.
So did you get a new board?
We did. I know, a new soundboard. We got it last week sometime.
Oh, cool.
And I walked in and I went, I don't know how to use it. What do I push with the buttons?
I just noticed it.
Yeah, it's fancy. And now we can control the microphone separately.
Oh.
Not that anybody out there cares because they can't see it, but yes. The exciting things in our lives. So how was your 4th of July weekend?
Well, how was yours? We were both at the same parade together in Cloverdale, and yet we didn't see each other.
I know, and it's such a small parade. We were about halfway back. It was nice. We stayed home yesterday. I didn't go anywhere. Actually, no, I went up Trask a little bit, but there was no traffic. So,
do you know? You've done the Clover Days parade before?
No, that was the first time.
Oh, okay. Because the best thing about the Clover Days parade,
it goes through twice. I heard.
Yeah. When you get done with the first one, they look at you and go, "You want to go again?"
I know, because when we got done, when we were walking back up the hill, we came, down by the feed store, and we saw, there goes the fire truck, which is at the end. But the girls were like, "No way, we're not doing it again."
Well, and the cow, it's always led by a cow, and so they had a nice young strapping guy.
Yes, Callie's boyfriend. Wrangled the cow.
That was helpful because I've done that parade almost every year, and some years the Dairy Princess has to do it, and it's trying to take a cow that isn't used to walking through a whole bunch of people.
Oh, true.
And wrangling a cow.
She's wearing a dress and her crown and the sash. Yeah.
So what I'd like to do is just publicly thank all the first responders for the weekend. It was crazy. I talked to one of our sheriff deputies this morning. He said the jail was full. So there's a lot of rowdy people. I drove from, and I went to a 90th birthday party in Rockaway Beach on Saturday after the parade. I had to get there by 1:30, so that was quick. But anyway.
Oh, so as soon as you went through, you took off.
I took off and went right.
Because we got back to Tillamook at 1:30.
Yeah, so got to Tillamook, and then from Tillamook to Rockaway Beach, it took me an hour.
Yeah.
An hour, and it was just solid traffic. I mean, it was almost, I wouldn't say completely
stop and go,
but it was close to it. I mean, there was just tourists everywhere.
Yep.
And I'm sure it was the same in Manzanita and so on.
Well, Cloverdale, getting out of the parade because they take it down to the one lane, going north on 101 was fine, but it was backed up for probably a mile coming into Cloverdale when I left.
I always like that parade. I rolled my window down because... See, the tourists are in the other lane.
I know.
People don't realize that.
Did you know you were going to be in a parade today?
I always say, you're in a parade, you better start waving, and people will start waving.
Where's your candy?
What'd you do this time? Well, we were in a parade in Cloverdale.
Inadvertently in a parade. It was a short parade, but it was a parade.
Yeah. So anyway, the first responders, the fire departments, police, it was just
EMTs,
crazy out
paramedics.
there.
It was insane.
I haven't got any reports of how bad it was, but we were popular. Let's put it that way. For the 4th. So
on Sunday we came into town, and early in the morning, it was like 11:30, maybe noon, and traffic coming in on Highway 6 was already backed up past the railroad overpass. Yeah. I was like, I'm not. This is the last time we're going to be in town. We're not coming to town until Tuesday.
It's good for business.
It is, absolutely.
Yeah, it's good for business. So speaking of business, one of the issues that Shane is very familiar with, but we've talked about this before, the payphone on Highway 6.
Oh, yes.
There's been a lot of work. We're now optimistic that the payphone is going to stay. And some people say, what's the deal about the payphone? It's not that big a deal, but it is a big deal if you're on Highway 6, and it's the only public communication between us and Banks, which is 57 miles. So there's been a full court press played by Senator Johnson and the commissioners, and we understand now that CenturyLink is reconsidering their decision to remove the payphone. It's not official yet, but we understand.
But it's on the table.
Yeah, they're going to, I think, seriously look at it. So I'm feeling pretty good about that. And then another thing that's kind of a small thing but kind of cool, stopped by the Oregon Coast Rail Riders. That's the new business, and there's, of course, business all over the county, but this one's kind of unique. It's the little carts that go on the rails there at Bay City. Stopped by and talked to them. over the weekend, and they said that they usually have 3 trips a day, 9, noon, and 3.
Mm-hmm.
And I got there, I don't know, 4 o'clock or so, and they were just putting another one on because their demand is so high. And
it's a really cool thing.
Yeah, and they don't even really they got this little tiny sign, and he says, oh yeah, we're getting it on the internet. Everybody's booking it on the internet to get their reservations ahead of time. So if you don't have reservations, you're not going to get on. And
right, yeah, don't expect to walk in.
Yeah, you can't, well, maybe you could walk in if somebody cancels, but for the most part, you're not going to get on unless you have a reservation. So that thing's just been a huge success.
And that goes from Bay City to the port and back, right?
Not to the port. It goes just about, let's see, what would be the best way to describe it? But Blue Heron, where the Blue Heron is, if you look due east of there, that's about where they turn around.
Oh, okay.
Right there.
For some reason I thought they went farther, but
okay. Yeah, they go, they don't go, there's a bridge down there that they don't cross. So they just go almost to Tillamook, but not quite. There's just a lot of issues going on right now. It's, I don't know, my last statement here, it's been a pretty quiet summer so far. Sarcasm intended. Oh. So we've got a number of coastal issues going on right now. On August 5th, the board's going to have a meeting on Bay Ocean Spit. So the future of Bay Ocean Spit. So if you're interested in Bay Ocean Spit, about the future of that, whether we should rezone it, keep it as is, do something else, there's going to be a board workshop on August 5th, so stay tuned. We'll be announcing it more as we get closer, but on August 5th, we're going to talk about the future of Bay Ocean Spit, and I know that a lot of people out there watch that one really close. Pacific City got some big issues going on down there right now. There's a thing called the Foredune. And the Foredune is the sand dune that's right up next to the houses.
Tim talked about that a little bit when he was here last week.
Okay, so yeah, it's a mess.
How the sand's coming up from Nescoin. Nescoin's missing sand, and Pacific City's got too much.
Maria. Very good.
Maria? Lisa.
Excuse me.
It's okay. Have some coffee.
So the sand's getting up right into the houses. They can legally move the sand around the houses, but because it's state parks property beyond that, they have to have a Foredune grading permit, and state parks is a little bit leery about doing that. So we're working with state parks to try to figure out how we can get that sand out of there and still be able to stabilize the dune at the same time. It's a complicated subject, and so we're working on that. So that's a big issue in the Pacific City area right now. Rockaway Beach, there's a home up there that's right next to the ocean, a gentleman Valley's home.
I just read about that this weekend.
Yeah, I read about in the Oregonian.
Yep.
Yeah, hot issue.
Yeah, it's
multi-million-dollar
really
home.
Close to that house. I mean, I thought 8 feet. Like, how big is 8 feet? And then I saw the picture and I went, oh, hey.
That door.
Yeah, that's close.
Yeah. We got coastal erosion going on in Nescoin, and then we got the overcrowding in the Pacific City, both on the beach, in the parking lot, around town.
Which is probably just getting worse every year, right?
Yep.
Yeah. The more people find out about it.
We're a product of our own success.
Right.
And so we're doing, did Tim talk about that too? We're doing a master planning down there to talk about creating more parking areas.
I don't think so.
Well, there's a master plan working with the community right now. And we've got a contractor hired to try to figure out how can we, I guess the only thing I can think of is manage the public down there in a way that reduces the amount of conflicts that are going on. You get people that fill up the parking lot, and then they block the dory access, so you can't get the dory boats in and out. They got to get a run when they come up out of there. Then you got people parking on the beach, and they don't park in the right spots, and they're conflicting with others. They get stuck out there. Then there are people that park in town. They park on people's property, block their property,
or park on the side of the road, and then
so you can't get the fire trucks through.
Right.
And so lots of issues down there. And so we're trying to figure out a long-term solution to some of that. So lots of coastal issues seem to be going on right now. So
then, before you move, are you moving on to something else? Okay, let me do a quick break. Talk about Roby's. You don't buy furniture every day, so it just makes sense that when you do invest in that new sofa or recliner, you're paying the best price possible. The same goes for that mattress or your refrigerator. At Roby's Furniture and Appliance, you'll find the top name brands Maytag, Frigidaire, Lazy Boy, Lane Simmons, Tempur-Pedic, and more, all under one roof and all at low, low prices. Roby's offers high-volume pricing and selection with small-town service and a smile. They have something in every price range and every taste. And don't forget, Roby's offers free delivery to veterans and active duty military. See them right now for great savings. Serving the folks who call the coast home, Roby's Furniture and Appliance, Astoria, Tillamook, Lincoln City, Newport, and Florence.
So have you been out? Have you seen their new building?
I know. It's huge. And it's going up very quick.
Can you see that's the amount of lumber that is in that thing?
It's huge.
Yeah, I was talking to, I just forgot his name now, the owner.
I don't know.
Oh, shoot. I blanked out on his name. I should know it. Sorry.
It'll come to you in like 5 minutes.
Yeah,
and shout
anyway,
it out.
It's been a long process for him to get that there, and now it's just coming up, so you got to be really excited about it.
Yeah,
but it's going to be a huge store.
One of those things where I drive up, up and down 101 to go to Freddy's and Main Street and stuff, and then one day I looked over and I was like, "Whoa, that's like got walls and a roof," and yeah. It's kind of fun to watch.
A lot of big stores like that, it's usually what they call cement tip-ups. They're cement walls.
Which is what TBCC did, right?
Yeah. And this is all wood. So it's going to be a beautiful building.
Yeah.
So. Okay, fairgrounds. So let's move inland now. We've gone on to talk about coastal issues. We're going to have a workshop. The board is on Wednesday afternoon to discuss the long-term fairgrounds, the issues. I shouldn't say issues, but long-term fairground matters. There's some old buildings out there, as we all know. We put money into the fairgrounds grandstands, and it's, of course, improved that immensely. But the main buildings need some work. The area needs some work. So we've got a consultant hired that's going to be doing an inventory of all the property and then trying to do some strategic planning about making that a more efficient place to have conventions, small conventions, to upgrade it, but still keep the ambiance of the fairgrounds what it is. But so we're going to meet with the fair board on Wednesday to talk about how we can work together to put an infusion of transit lodging tax dollars into those facilities to make them better. So that's pretty cool. I'm excited about that.
Yeah.
Then another thing that's going on is what we call Senate Bill 1517. Now, Senate Bill 1517 was a very controversial bill that passed in the last legislative session. I don't know if we've talked about this before, have we? Does that ring a bell with you? Probably not. Okay. So for the folks that are listening on the radio.
The Farm Bureau has been in and talked about. I was trying to read your little paragraph here to see if it was the same thing.
The bill allows for development of wetland projects where appropriate, where feasible, but it's got to be done in collaboration and cooperation with property owners for the protection and maintenance of productive farmland. So we just had our first meeting last week to talk about the process. So there was representatives from the Creamery Association there, the Farm Bureau, both local and state Farm Bureau, Department of Land Conservation and Development, the county, the Nature Conservancy, the Tillamook Bay Watershed Council. So what we're trying to do is, we all know that fish, particularly young fish, fry and smolt, the little ones and the bigger ones, need places to rear, to grow before they go out to the ocean. And what they do is they come out of the eggs, they float down the rivers, and they come out into the lower part of the estuary here, the bay, and then right at the head of the waters of where the rivers go into the bay, and then they rear there for a long time. And it's really limited habitat. There's not a lot of it. And that's where they do their best job of growing up. And so there's a need for more wetland restoration, but there's a conflict because we have prime farmland in Tillamook County, and that's how our farmland got here, was over the millennia of all the floodwaters and the flat areas here in the valley created great farmland. So we have very productive farmland, and we don't want to lose productive farmland. We also want to create wetland habitat, so we got a conflict there. So we got to figure out how can we have wetland projects and prime farmland at the same time. Now, there are areas where the farmland isn't very productive, and we can create wetland habitats, but there are areas where we're creating wetland habitat in productive farmland, or it affects adjacent farmland.
Right.
And so we want to have a collaborative process to work together as property owners, as the government, to try to see where we can collaborate and work through this process. That's what Senate Bill 1517. So we had our first meeting. I was pretty pleased. Everybody's around the table saying, yep, we want to work together. We want to try to figure out how to do this. So
cool.
We've talked about the rest area south of Tillamook.
Yes, which I took an extra notice of when I came back from Cloverdale on Saturday.
Well, we had our meeting since you and I talked last. We had a meeting with the executive director of what they call the Oregon Travel Experience. And for those people who don't know, it's an ODOT-owned, Oregon Department of Transportation-owned rest area, but it's managed by Oregon Travel Experience. And so they would like, and we would like, to make it a more of a destination area for travelers because of all the traffic going on 101. Right. And with the, I don't know if you know it or not, but the Chambers little building, it's going away. Did you know that?
Oh, I didn't. That's at the
cheese factory.
Oh, I did not know that.
Yeah. They're gonna.
Where are they moving to?
They're gonna have to relocate. Yeah.
Is the cheese factory? Are we supposed to be talking about this? I don't know.
Yeah, I think it's somewhat public.
Okay.
Yeah,
is the cheese factory taking that over for parking or something?
Yeah, well, they own it.
Oh.
Yeah, they own it, and they're going to be doing some pretty major expansions there. So that's one of our major tourist information centers there. And so the new facility, if it goes through, and which sounds like it is going to have a little bit of a tourist facility inside the cheese factory, but the chamber building is going to have to go somewhere else. So they're looking for other locations, and so they're looking downtown Tillamook and around the area. But anyway, one of the fallbacks is that we could put some tourist information on that 101 area there.
Sure.
Well, because ODOT owns it, now we have to work with ODOT and talk about what we can and can't do there.
Right.
So we're working with them right now on the possibility of expanding that from just a rest area to a tourist information center. So just thought I'd let folks know about that.
It's a nice big, kind of a really pretty rest stop. I mean, it's got nice little rolling hill there with grass and the river's right behind it. And
picnic areas.
Yeah,
you can
it's
have
really
weddings
nice.
there. You have family reunions, all those kinds of things. There's some real potential.
Yeah,
and it's really cool. Have you been there and walked down to the river? I mean, there's little trails that go down to the river there. It's really cool. Anyway, so that meeting was very productive, and so we'll see what happens in the next. The board wrote a letter to ODOT and asked them if we could have permission to make some minor improvements on the short run and bigger improvements on the long run. So we're waiting to see how they react to that. Let's talk about roads. Right now,
always a hot topic around here.
Well, right now. We're spending the majority, I shouldn't say majority, a lot of our time fixing up the damage from the December storm. So, people going, well, it was summertime, but there's still a lot of culverts and roads that were damaged during that storm. We've got contractors out there working and our road crews out there working. So we're spending a lot of time working on that. There's a couple things that are going on. Do you know where Resort Drive is? Resort Drive is if you go just south of Cloverdale, like you're going, and you kind of come around that, you go past the school, and then you come around the corner.
Big corner.
Yeah, and that really sharp corner right there before you get to the bed and breakfast.
Yeah.
There's a road that goes to the right there. That's called Resort Drive. And that is got some pretty major problems. So we're going to close Resort Drive. Well, it is closed now, excuse me. So it's closed now to only local access and emergency vehicles only. It's closed at 2 locations, and it's been damaged by floodwaters. The first is at milepost 1.3, which is right next to the Riverview Lodge. And the second one is located at milepost 2.1, which is just east of Reddycop Road. So we've got barriers up to protect the traveling public. What's happening is the Nestucca River's eating out the road, and there's like a 30-foot drop into the river.
Yikes.
And so we've got a major amount of work to do to move the road over so it could be safe for traveling public. So we're going to be got detour signs up. We know it's going to be inconvenient for some folks, and we appreciate the patience of folks, but we're out there working now to try to get that done. The project should be completed by the spring of 2017 and open to the public at that time. So I wanted to be sure and mention that that's a road closure.
It takes a while to fix all that stuff.
Yeah. So we've got lots of contractors working throughout the county on the flood stuff. Resort Drive's closed. And we're doing what they call hot patching right now. Places where the road's in bad shape, we're doing hot patching, doing pothole patching. And for those folks who have found a pothole and you go, well, how come they haven't fixed that? Well, sometimes we just don't know about it. So all you got to do is call the road department. They've got a list. They put it on the list, and they try to get to it as soon as they can. So
is 3rd Street on the list? down by the Fairview Grange? Because, man, oh, man.
Is it getting bad down there?
Oh, is it bad? They're like driving in the other lane just to avoid all the potholes.
Oh, okay.
I know they did the intersection a couple months ago, but like if you just go... If you're at the intersection, you're coming into town on 3rd Street. It's pretty nasty.
Is that where you live out there?
Oh, I live up Trask, but yeah.
Oh, okay. So I'll mention that when I get back. Okay. I'll leave Leanne a note about that. So, and we're prepping roads. We're going to start paving here. Probably, I talked to Jeanette this morning. Probably toward the end of the month, 1st of August, is when we're going to start doing the paving projects throughout the county. So next month I'll come in with a list of paving projects. So
I'm going to ask you, because we still have a few minutes to talk. Can you talk about Highway 101 and 6?
Oh, sure.
Okay. Because I know that's kind of on a stall right now, right?
Oh, no, it's beautiful.
Oh, well, I mean, okay, we'll talk about it in a second.
Okay.
We're going to first talk about Tillamook Motor Company. Welcome to the more human side of engineering. The Lincoln MKZ Hybrid is efficiency in its most elegant form. Enjoy the luxury of power. The shared features between the MKZ Hybrid and its gas counterpart go well beyond the exterior. Designers and engineers worked hand in hand to deliver a hybrid powertrain while keeping a look of distinction. Whether you're in the market for a new car or something pre-owned, it's nice to know who you're doing business with. Tillamook Motor Company is on the friendly corners of 5th and 7th on Main in downtown Tillamook, and they have your next vehicle. You get their bottom line, one price without having to haggle, and it includes Ford Protect Premium Care Extended Service Plan for 2 years or 24,000 miles. Take a test drive today at Tillamook Motor Company, a better place to do business. So I get the updates on 101 and Highway 6, but I haven't seen a whole lot happening over there, so I'm just curious if you...
It's pretty much done.
Until Labor Day's over, right? And then they're going to start...
Oh, I know what you're talking about. The intersection.
The intersection. Oh, yeah, but Highway 101 itself, that paving is it done?
Nice?
Oh, it is so quiet.
It is so nice.
It was funny driving up 101 in the middle of it, and you'd be like, oh, it's so nice and quiet. And then you get to the old road, and it's like, when is this going to be done? And that went all the way to Wheeler, is that right?
Up in that area, yeah. I think it goes clear to Wheeler. I drove, had a meeting in Astoria Friday, and so I drove the whole section, and they're gone. They're gone. So
I know it was a pain while it was happening. But they did it quick.
It was nighttime paving.
Yeah,
so it wasn't
but they started
too
it
bad.
at 6, which was supposed to initially start at 7, and then 6 kind of got a little early, but I know an hour. But it was still, I mean, they did it pretty quickly. Yeah. That only took
Well, they actually
a month.
didn't. Did you know that? They were supposed to be done last year.
Oh, yeah, so a year late.
They postponed it. Yeah, they
Why?
did. Well, no, this is just rumors, but what I was told was they had a bunch of projects in other parts of the state, and so they got here late.
Oh.
And so they only got part of it done, and then by the fall, the rains and the cold weather came, and so they didn't get it done. So they said, okay, we'll be back in early 16 and get it done. So that's what they did. They got it done. So it might have looked like they were got it done.
Well, I'm
quick,
just saying,
but
when they were here, when they were here, it actually didn't seem like it took as long as I thought it was.
So 101.6. First of all, Janelle Wintergreen works for the chamber, and she's the one, if you call the chamber, she's the one that keeps track of the 101.6 stuff. But essentially you're seeing very little activity going on until September.
Right.
And then that's when the majority of the work's going to start. And the reason for that is because we don't want to have everything all torn up right in the middle of the tourist season and with all
it's
the
already
traffic.
A nightmare going through there, and then I can't even imagine having construction.
Yeah. And so if you had construction there, it would be just crazy. And so I think September, sometime after the 1st of September, is when you're going to see a lot of things starting to happen into the fall season. So.
Yeah. Well, it looks nice over there for now. I mean, I can see where the road's going to go and kind of have that. We're going to have a little park down there for Hocart and Slough, right?
It'll stay. Portion of it.
Right.
But it's going
to
be
have
straight
parking
out.
and things down there, I think.
I think so.
Yeah. I think
but Janelle would be the one that would tell you. I'm not following it really close, but Janelle's the one that would know all about it. So you call her at the chamber.
Yeah, and I think you can go on...
there's probably a website, too.
Tillamook Main Street, I think, has... the Main Street program has updates on their Facebook page, maybe?
Okay.
I don't know. I get emails from them, and you can sign up for the email list. It's very easy.
So have you been to the new scoop shop?
No, I stayed out of town this weekend.
Oh, the yogurt shops, Going.
Well, I walked by the yogurt shop. It looks beautiful in there, but it was packed, and I was like, meh.
And the creamery's got their little scoop shop too.
Yep, and they got a little cow in there you can take a picture with.
Yeah.
I know it's kind of nice for, if you want to go get ice cream, you don't have to go to the cheese factory and fight all that traffic.
I talked to Patrick about that. I said, I'm so proud of you to do this because there's been pressure for years to do that. And he says, well, he said it's always been a priority for him, but we're trying to see if we can make it work. And the key is, I'm pretty sure they can make it work during the summer for sure because there's a lot of traffic. It's just to be able to keep it open longer periods of time. So, but it was kind of his thing he's told me. He says, I've been wanting to do this for a long time. So.
Yeah. I remember when the whole 2nd Street thing happened that they were considering moving over there. I heard rumors that they might move into 2nd Street. And open up
Amelia, I mean, I'm talking about the Tillamook Chamber here almost. But Amelia, I mean, if you peeked in the window there, she's getting really close too.
Yeah, I know. She's biting her nails.
That's going to be really cool.
Antsy to move in there.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know. It's kind of nice. You can go over there and then you can go have ice cream at the Scoop Shop. I don't know how later they open. Do you know?
I do not know.
I know the frozen yogurt place, I think, is open kind of late, like Friday, Saturdays, I think, until 11, which is nice.
Come out of the theater and then just go down and have a...
Yeah, or go have a late dinner and, Dutch Mill or whoever else is open that late, and then go have some ice cream or frozen yogurt to top it off at the end of the night. It's nice. And what I like about the frozen yogurt shops, they have all the toppings you can put on.
Yeah, but that's the problem.
I know. A little bit of frozen yogurt and a lot of toppings.
Well, if you haven't been in there, they got these bowls, and you can just fill that thing up.
Yeah. Is it the kind where you weigh it? It's just by weight.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, those are fun. Yeah, because you can put any kind of frozen, and it's self-serve. If you haven't been in there, it's self-serve. So you could put in 15 different flavors if they have them. You can put in as many flavors as you want, put in all the toppings. It's fun. I've been in Southern California. They have a lot of those. We used to go like once a week. Super fun. Yep, we're about out of time. Maria's looking at me. Let's see. Tomorrow, Jim will be here with the health department. Don't forget Tai Chi class from 11 to noon on Mondays at the North County Recreation District in Nehalem. Senior meals, 11:30 at St. Mary's by the Sea in Rockaway Beach every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. Also noon every weekday at the Kiowanda Community Center in Pacific City. Cost is $3 for seniors and $6.75 for everyone else. This weekend is your last chance to go see Tapa's hilarious adult comedy, Vanya and Sonia and Masha and Spike. Get your tickets at Diamond Art Jewelers before they sell out, 842-7940.
Have you seen that?
I did. It's
good?
hilarious. Oh my gosh. It is an adult comedy, though. There's some adult themes that are discussed. Friday, Saturday at 7, Sunday at 2. You can get more information at tillamooktheater.com. And this weekend is also Relay for Life, 10 a.m. Saturday through 10 a.m. Sunday at the fairgrounds. There will be entertainment, games, auctions, and a lot more. It's free to the public to spend the day with Relay for Life and the walkers. It's a pretty cool thing. And they do it overnight.
And it
doesn't stop.
It's a fundraiser too. I mean,
for the American
lots of money
Society?
for. Yeah,
is it the American Cancer Society?
Yeah,
I think so.
It's really cool. It's actually pretty emotional too in the evening when they do the lighting ceremony.
Oh yeah.
Oh, it's really emotional. But anyway.
Happy birthday to Tim Goddard and Francis Stone. All right. Well, thanks, Mark, for coming in today.
Yep, you're welcome.
Glad you had a nice 4th.
See you next month, probably at the end of the month.
Yes. Oh, yeah. It'll be like 2 months. And thank you, Tillamook, for listening.